This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Looking good, ladies.
I'm not going to do it.
I didn't even think about it until I go, it's Wednesday, and then I started smiling. You got to do it now.
Day.
All right. I swear that wasn't even planned this time.
Lackluster. Reluctantly said.
It was.
That's my last time for real.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
I don't think so. All right, we'll see. All right, let's get to it, guys. It looks like Alec Baldwin's movie Rust will resume filming. The set was shut down last year, if you remember, after Alec shot and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. The FBI launched an investigation, and Alec and other producers were hit with multiple lawsuits. Alec has maintained he didn't pull the trigger and the shooting was an accident. But in a twist, Helena's husband has now settled his lawsuit against Alec and the producers and is now the film's new executive producer. In a statement, Matthew Hutchins said he believes Helena's death was a terrible accident and wants the film to be a tribute to her final work. I keep saying Helena because I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
It is Helena.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Helena, I want to make, that's
Yes, yes.
Who's going to see this movie? Like, what audience is this for?
I don't know.
Honestly, I just think it gives me a huge ick factor. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's good for them and cathartic, and maybe the husband needs to do this, and that's great. But my first reaction is like, whoa, why is it resuming? Why is he EP? I'll just be honest. I would never go see this movie. Am I being too harsh?
No, I think you're just offering your opinion.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
That's my job.
Yeah. To me, if someone is in Helena's husband's position, is putting himself into the mix in order to assure that this film is going to resume and he is going to have some creative control over it, this film must have meant a lot to his wife. That's the message that I'm getting from it. Maybe it was a part of her legacy. Maybe it was something that she was, felt like was going to change her life in some way. And maybe he feels that responsibility to ensure that it lives on. And I'm pretty sure that most people would agree with Tori. Had he not stepped in, maybe it would have become something that never ended up happening.
What do you guys give to this is a low budget film, probably wouldn't have got that many eyeballs had this not had happened. Now this is sort of, everyone knows this film. Everyone knows what it is. And if that's the new executive producer's dream is to fulfill his wife's goal and and spin it into a positive. If you don't like Alec Baldwin, you're not going to watch this movie. You know what I mean? You're going to have a bias. But if you want to see that dream live out with the cup being half full, maybe you'll go see the movie.
Yeah, I can't put myself in a position of a grieving husband, but, I surely probably would try as hard as I could to go to the end to get what I thought was justice for my partner. And maybe perhaps this is justice for them. I don't really know if working on the film does that, but maybe also his wife was a person that wouldn't have wanted him to be in court for what could be years to try to get to the bottom of this. So, whatever they decide is fine. Like Tori was saying, I'm not sure if I'm the audience either. I'm probably not going to go see it.
I would have scrapped it. You know what I mean? Let's stay out of trouble, whatever. But the show goes on, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. All right, so Angelina Jolie has disclosed new abuse allegations aimed at her ex, Brad Pitt. So Brad is suing Angie over a chateau they owned in France. Again, me, keep the chateau. I'm Brad Pitt. In a countersuit, Angelina once again brought up that infamous plane ride back in 2016 that led to their divorce. She claims that Brad choked one of their kids and struck another in the face. Angelina also alleged that Brad poured beer on her and then poured beer and wine on their children, but Brad was cleared of allegations of abuse against the kids.
Of course, I want to represent the survivors or victims of any kind of abuse. Obviously, let's just put that out there. She has rehashed this over and over and over again.
Yes, so have we.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is this the same story?
This is the same
like deja vu.
And to be honest with you, I believe production services came on the plane. The plane was on the runway. She had called a problem. They came and investigated. A judge investigated. He has been cleared. I am not sure why she wants to continue to bring this up because of the children. This makes me, I know there's a custody battle, and when I hear that, I hear leverage and trying to get the kids. I'm not saying she's not right. I just think we've heard this story and it's been debunked twice, thrice.
if you will. Right?
This story is so convoluted and it's such a sensitive topic that I'm not 100% sure that I believe or know it to be debunked. I think public opinion, it probably isn't 100% sure.
But the judge cleared it.
Exactly, but I think a part of this is, and if it's 100% clear, that's the thing. The public is me. I'm the public. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, so this still here?
Yeah,
oh, okay, so we must be doing this. Oh, okay, let's see what happens next.
The timing is interesting, right?
It's a custody. I guess it's a tactic.
But if you're the public, whose side are you on? If you're the public.
Well, we did this with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, you know, and Amber Heard says that she feels like the public was against her, you know?
So,
so I don't know if Angelina keeps repeating this thing. You know, if you say something enough times, a lot of people will believe it to be true. You've repeated it a million times. Like, we heard this story so many times that it's like, okay, well, maybe Brad is just a terrible person.
Or is it a woman who's, and I say this with all due respect, or is this someone who's like using, I think if you keep repeating it and it keeps getting debunked in a court of law, I don't understand. It feels like you're trying to besmirch his character for the press. That's what it feels like to me. And I don't want to say it's not true. I'm just saying after a court of law has cleared this, I'm not quite sure why it's being brought up for not the custody battle.
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you there.
Hey.
Yeah, I
am. Good to see you on my side.
Well, she's not bringing up any new allegations. It's the same charge, and Brad's trying to better his life, and he's got sober. It didn't seem to affect his movie much. I don't know the numbers exactly, but it just seems like she's bringing up all that, and now it's over a chateau. Is it the press that's pushing this, or is this Angelina?
Well, I would want my chateau also. That's a pretty nice situation. I love wine also.
Yeah, but if you were Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie, would you say, keep the chateau, stop talking about me?
I don't know, I want my chateau, but I don't know, maybe I'm a little more petty than everyone else.
You'd be fine. Here's a chateau.
The chateau must be the last thing. It must be the last point of contention.
Yes.
Oh, it must be a big one. Must be a really nice chateau. All right, so it's official. Velma from Scooby-Doo is gay. No round of applause there. There we go. I thought we were going to hear a yas. Thank you, Dre. Clips from the new movie Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo show Velma clearly enamored with costume designer Coco Diablo. Let's take a look.
And as promised, here are your Scooby snacks. I'm sure that Coco made some brilliant observations in the encounter we just had.
The cute one's right.
Ooh. So James Gunn, who wrote the early live-action movies, tweeted that he tried to make Velma a lesbian in the films, but the studio kept watering it down to the point where Velma ended up having a boyfriend in the sequel. So the complete opposite of what he originally wanted. How we feel about this? Cartoons, getting up to date, 2022?
I think it's great. I think the original Batgirl was, I believe, bisexual. I think it's been in comics since the 40s, and Stan Lee has written certain characters that way, Marvel characters, DC Comics characters. I think get up to the modern society. You know?
I wish it wasn't just such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like when we say it's a first for this,
Yes.
just like let it be life. You know, in life how we all interact, we have a whole office full of different people doing different things. It's like not an issue. We just all living our lives and doing our day. I look forward to that when a cartoon could just be doing this thing and people are acting normal and reflecting what we see outside.
It's just our world.
I'm with you.
I think when we talk about animation and the idea that it's not reality, then people want to have it rooted in this fantasy of what they think life should be like, what they think the world should be like, because artistic expression is a choice, right? So if we're going to give this to our children, which is always a thing when we talk about cartoons, although most cartoons are not for children, like when it really comes down to it, then they're like, well, this should be the utopia of which our world is, and it's just not. Like, art should be a representation of what the real world is. Now, you did bring up quietly that her love interest's last name is Devil.
Yeah.
So it's the Chocolate Devil, which is also how I'm known.
Because I thought
Diablo is Spanish, right? Is the devil.
Right.
Yes.
Who calls you that, Erica?
The Chocolate Devil?
Yeah.
I'm about to say Anthony.
That's my pet name.
You made it a positive. See, if we were a cartoon, my glasses would fog up.
People, I want to quickly say though, people were really acting like this about was it Chloe Bailey playing the Little Mermaid, or Halle Bailey? And so, you know, Haley, and it wasn't that big of a deal. She was just a beautiful girl, little young woman playing this character, or playing a mermaid, and everybody's like, oh, it should be this way. Like, it's a mermaid.
It's a fictional.
They're not real.
I know.
Yeah. So
I think real quick, Velma is become a gay icon for a lot of lesbians out there, a lot of LGBTQ, because she was secretly hiding and they all knew. And I'm just glad it's out in the open.
Yeah, everyone tries to be the first, right? This is the first time ever. They love that headline. But I just want to get to a point where, like, cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good. Like you just said, it's all good. Let's keep moving.
And aren't there some insinuations for Elsa? I haven't seen Frozen, so correct me if I'm wrong, that she doesn't have like a male interest, so she could be like ambiguous for her sexuality. Like, are there suggestions of that?
I just watch the movies. You know what I mean? And there's a big deer in there that talks. Well, I don't know. You know,
because a lot of the cartoons have, like, you know, the thing that also was troubling, that the woman is also wants to be saved by the hero guy, Prince, which is awesome. That happens in real life sometimes, but also sometimes it doesn't.
But how often does someone just write the character and they're like, they don't have a storyline because it's about this person, and other people just make up their storyline? They're like, oh yeah, he's got a Native American grandfather. They're like, I just was writing a script.
What a Taurus. Like, who is this guy? You know, like you're putting your own mind to it.
I didn't get the Taurus thing.
Like
a Taurus?
The sign.
The sign, like Capricorn.
Oh, Taurus. I think you meant Taurus, like in New York City.
Oh, no, like, oh, Sagittarius. You're like, no, I just wrote a character.
Got it.
We got me out of that, what I just said, too, because I'm like, I don't even know if I could say what I just said anymore. But coming up on DBL, more signs of the stars starts. Astrology signs, not regular stars. Oh no, Adam Lambert from American Idol and the current Queen frontman is going to be here, and Tori's breaking down all the celebrity dating rumors and their signs in her new segment, Actually.
It's a good one.
Closed captioning provided by...
I'm easily tickled, y'all. It doesn't take much.
We're going to sit here and be right.
I know y'all going to be mad at me, but I'm just telling you the truth.
You can smirk all you want. You don't have to tell me to go.
Brad Pitt on the counting.
Bobby, you look like you direct commercials.
Yeah, I like the whole look you have going on. The hat and the shirt there, and like, it's giving a vibe.
Yeah, you got to show it off, and you need a scarf too.
Jeray said, "Let's in the car."
I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, Bob, you got to do it. You got to see if I'm right.
See, look at that.
There we go. It's a little.
Get it, Bobby.
Little
It's Yom Kippur.
Directing commercials.
Thank you for our Colgate commercial today.
More brushing, more circular motions. But
it's Yom Kippur today, and today is the day in which Day of Atonement, and we're supposed to thank and ask people for forgiveness, and also fast. So we're not supposed to eat for 24 hours. So if I've made any statements or upset you anyway, today is the day in which I ask for your forgiveness and atonement.
Do you mean it in an email or verbal?
No, I'm doing it like right now. This counts. This is my oral argument. Blanket.
It's just a blanket.
My
if
sister,
I have ever done anything
for the whole year, 1 year, and my sister writes an apology letter to everyone every year the night before to say, if I've done anything to harm you, you fast to atone and say you're sorry for what you've done, and you want God to inscribe you in the new book of life.
Are you fasting?
I ate a cookie.
Speaking of fasting, if we're opening up our...
I can't apologize.
Are you fasting?
No, but I do fast, but you owe me like 24 sandwiches over the years.
You do?
I owe him like 3 Louis sandwiches.
3 dozen.
Can you just start with one? Why don't you bring in the one sandwich?
Well, I can. My question is, do you eat sandwiches, or are you fasting and don't want bread? Because that was your thing, is you don't want a sandwich.
Sounds like an excuse, not an atonement.
I don't know what's going on right now.
2 years ago. I will bring in sandwiches.
Or make excuses?
I'm supposed to do both. I'll bring in the sandwiches.
Don't make excuses.
I'm supposed to do both.
Ab, I like your hair today.
Welcome back. Love. It's a messy thing, especially when we don't know if there is any. What's the dirt? Well, some of Hollywood's newest boyfriends are sparking some spicy new headlines. But actually, are they even true? Is Leonardo DiCaprio a bad boyfriend to model Gigi Hadid? Hold up. Let's put this in reverse for a second, okay? Leo isn't actually Gigi's boyfriend yet, but they did just spend some time together in Paris during Fashion Week. But rumors are abuzz that Leo left Gigi's hotel in the wee small hours of the morning and went immediately to the club. Catch him if you can, Gigi.
I'm sorry I ran away, but you don't have to worry.
But actually, I don't think the ship has sunk just yet.
The ship is gonna suck us down.
Leo was at the club, but only with his bro, so no iceberg straight ahead here. It looks like clear sailing for these two. Speaking of love in the air, it looks like Daily Show host Trevor Noah and pop star Dua Lipa are a new duo. The pair sparked romance rumors after they were seen canoodling in a restaurant and even shared one kiss.
One kiss is all it takes.
Even more tantalizing, the PDA Fest happened the night before Trevor announced he's leaving The Daily Show. So is Trevor leaving The Daily Show due to Dua? Actually, Trevor explained how he wants to pursue more stand-up comedy opportunities. So guys, let's slow this rumor down and remember, we shouldn't just do a Lipa to hasty conclusions. That's all for this week. We'll be right back.
Google Trends data also show that people are searching for information about student loan forgiveness reversal. So let's verify. Did the Biden administration make a change to the student loan forgiveness plan, now excluding some borrowers?
Our sources of the Department of Education and its archived web pages, and Jennifer Finetti with Scholarship Owl. Yes, there is a new stipulation in the forgiveness program. The Department of Education's website says, quote, as of September 29th, 2022, borrowers with federal student loans not held by the Department of Education cannot obtain one-time debt relief by consolidating those loans into direct loans. This includes borrowers with the Federal Family Education Loan Program and Perkins loans that are not held by the Department of Education. The exclusion is a reversal from language previously included on the department's website. If these borrowers applied to consolidate their loans into the Federal Direct Loan Program before September 29th, they are still eligible for student loan forgiveness.
So if you were thinking of consolidating but you haven't yet, those loans will no longer qualify.
The FEL program, which offered federally backed loans that were funded by private lenders, ended in 2010. Perkins loans, which were issued by schools, have not been dispersed since June of 2018. Before this update, the Department of Education's fact sheet on student loan forgiveness had previously said borrowers with privately held federal loans could consolidate them to receive debt relief. However, the Department of Education said it is still assessing, quote, pathways to provide relief for borrowers with privately held loans.
Many students have different kinds of student loans. So the most important thing you can do if you know you have loans and you don't know what you have is to get on the website for each of your loan servicers so that you can see what type of loan you have.
So why is this group of borrowers now excluded? A spokesperson from the administration says the goal is to get the debt relief to as many eligible borrowers as quickly and as easily as possible, while they explore the legal options available for those borrowers with those privately owned loans. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. He auditioned for American Idol with a song by Queen. Now he's the legendary band's frontman. Adam Lambert joined us earlier and even shared a special Halloween treat with Sam. Take a look.
First, I have to ask you, you performed at the Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee, and you recently dedicated a song to her during London Fashion Week. I was wondering, did you get a chance to meet Lilibet, the Queen, or any of the other royals?
I did not get a chance to meet her. She was not there. I think it was past her bedtime. But unfortunately, I didn't get to meet any of the royals. But I did see them over in the stand. And I kind of gave a little.
Yep. Okay.
Let's get to you. You auditioned for American Idol, like Sam said, with Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wow.
Now you sing for the band.
Mama, life is just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away.
It's so serendipitous. If you could ask Freddie Mercury one question today, what would it be?
I don't know where it would start. I think I just want to have a drink with him and just like pick his brain, just like ask them about why did you write that song? You know, what was this about? I would just want to get to know them. I think it would be great.
You and me both.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're a judge on British singing competition show called Starstruck. So how is it different from American Idol?
Well, this is a show, it's very lightweight. I mean, this is a show where people come on and they get transformed into their favorite artist and they perform as that artist. So it's really just sort of like wish fulfillment. These people are like big super fans. They have learned how to sing like them, how to move like them, and they get this great makeover, and it's just a lot of fun.
Ooh, the makeover part.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so you
I
gotta,
like that part.
I know. You got to tell us about your new tour, The Witch Hunt. Why did you name it that? I know you're a big Halloween fan. Like, oh my God, look at that cover. Wow.
I was watching before I beamed in here, and your haunted house is incredible, by the way. That is unbelievable. I'm really impressed. Then we're the same because Halloween is literally just like my favorite. I think it comes from it's like being a kid again. You know, it's like I remember being a kid and dressing up, and for me, Halloween was the first time I got to use my imagination in that way and put a costume together, and that sort of led to me being in theater and me doing what I'm doing now. So I think it all comes back to Halloween.
Yes. I'm glad you explained it because I would have never guessed that.
I feel like you're more of an
Adam Lambert.
What are you going to be for Halloween? Have you decided on a costume yet?
Not yet. I mean, I'm doing a show the night before at the Palladium, as you guys are probably seeing written on your little papers there or on the screen, and I'll be in some serious looks during the show.
Nice.
So maybe I'll venture out after that and just stay in one of the looks. I'm not sure.
Maybe he'll be Adam Lambert and
Okay, I like the glam. We're gonna get to the glam, but I just have to tell you, Adam Lambert, you have given Sam one of the biggest gifts by complimenting her haunted house. Okay, she is the queen of Halloween. She is going to definitely clip this.
Oh, it's
probably up there with winning an Emmy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for gracing her. She can't even get the color back in her face.
It's
okay, she is so excited.
It's going on the Halloween digital invite.
There we go. There we go.
Ooh,
And
I
that
love
party
it.
better
I
be
love
good
it.
because it's been in my calendar.
I love it.
Okay, so let's talk about the glam, Adam. Because out of all of the male artists to rock glam before you, like David Bowie, Prince, and Boy George, I know this isn't fair, but I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire. Who, in your opinion, rocked it best?
Tell us.
Ooh, I mean, Bowie kind of like broke the mold, But you can't really compare those three guys. They were all very different. I mean, Prince was Prince, Prince. But I do think I know George pretty well, and George was really inspired by Bowie. So I think there's probably some shared DNA there. But I do think it's funny because 10 years ago when I came on the scene and I was, playing with glitter and stuff, it was like, it became this thing where like, ooh, guy liner, it's kind of weird. We don't understand it. And I always thought to myself, if you rewind about 10 years, 20 years ago to the 70s, the 80s, everyone had makeup on.
Right.
So it was always funny to me that it was such a foreign concept to people. And now, funny enough, you go on TikTok or Instagram and like everyone's wearing makeup.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Adam. DBL Nation, visit adamlambert.net for the Witch Hunt tour dates, and you can buy tickets at ticketmaster.com. We'll be right back. Bye, Adam.
Bye, Adam.
Bye.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
You're not alone. Omega XL.
Ease your mind and earn a few bucks at the same time. That's the promise of some paid survey advertisements that verified viewer Carolyn got in her email, and she texted us to ask if these are scams. So we verified 5 ways you can spot a paid survey scam using these sources. Companies do conduct legitimate market research using surveys. You've probably seen invitations at the bottom of receipts or in emails from stores. Some will even offer you a discount or the chance to win a gift card for filling out their survey. Scammers like to use these same promotions too, but their offer is usually a little too good to be true. So first, the BBB recommends watching out for surveys that offer excessive compensation, like a $100 gift card or a 90% discount in exchange for answering a few short questions. Second, scammers usually heavily emphasize the chance to win a reward. The point of a real survey is to gather information, so if all they talk about is how much money you can win, then it's probably a scam. Third, the survey should clearly state the brand behind the research and why they're asking for your information. Fourth, look at what the survey is giving away. Scammers sometimes cast a wide net and end up mixing and matching brands. For example, if a survey says it's from a grocery store, but it's offering a gift of jewelry, then it's probably a scam. Finally, be skeptical of limited time offers. Scammers want you to act before you have time to think. As for the questions in the scam surveys, our sources say the end goal is usually identity theft.
Even if it's like minuscule and just seems limited, maybe they're asking little bits and pieces, but once all that information is combined, they could create like a pretty good profile of an individual and use that information to potentially steal somebody's identity.
The best way to stay safe is to read reviews about the site, check its privacy policy, and avoid revealing too much personal information. If you do come across a scam, then you can report it to the Federal Trade Commission or the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. Ever since the White House announced its student loan forgiveness program, we've heard from a lot of you wondering how this is all going to work. People under a certain income are eligible for up to $10,000 in forgiveness and $20,000 if they received a Pell Grant. But several Verify viewers asked, what does this mean for people who have multiple loans? So we're going to explain how the Department of Education is going to forgive that debt using these sources. First, you don't get to pick which loan the government forgives first. Instead, there is a very specific order. The Department of Education says it will first apply the relief to loans that are in default. Then it will forgive loans from its direct loan program, followed by commercially held federal family education program loans, and finally, Perkins loans that are held by the DOE. Second, if you have several loans that are the same type, like multiple direct or Perkins loans, then the Department of Education says it will first forgive the loan with the highest interest rate and go from there until you received the total amount of forgiveness you're entitled to, or you have no more eligible loans. You can find out what type of loan you have and its interest rate by going to your federal student aid online account. The Department of Education recommends people apply for forgiveness by mid-November so they can receive their relief before the pandemic payment pause ends on December 31st. However, it will continue to accept applications through the end of 2023. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. Have you guys heard about Camp Lejeune? It's a military training base in North Carolina, and unfortunately, anyone who lived or worked there may have been exposed to toxic water. This could cause serious health conditions. If you develop any of the following, attorneys with the Victims Justice Group are hoping to help. If you feel you're eligible, you can also file a claim on your own. To our viewers, if you or someone you know lived or worked on the base between 1953 and 1987, please call 1-800-793-9962. And before we go, guys, we're going to squeeze in this last story. We want to give a shout out to 007. Good thing you guys spelled that out for me. James Bond turned 60 today. To celebrate, Amazon Prime is releasing 25 Bond films, starting with Dr. No, which propelled Sean Connery, of course, to stardom. Roger Moore took over the role in the 80s, followed by Timothy Dalton and Pierce Brosnan. Daniel Craig recently ended his run as the first blonde Bond. Oh, leaving you guys with some hard hitters with No Time to Die. Yeah, blonde Bond. Who knew? See you guys tomorrow.